Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
That was nice. I think I need to hear that again. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Ooh. It's supposed to be spring, but it's a little cold and dreary. But we're here together, and I'm really pleased that we can join in Shabbat joy, in Shabbat song, in Shabbat prayer, and we are going to separate ourselves from whatever happened in the rest of the week and set our intention with Shabbat. First, we'll take a deep breath in and release. With this next breath in, think of all of those things that were stressful or difficult. Breathe them in. Hold on to them for a moment. And when you release your breath, try to let them go. And with our last breath in, we breathe in and think about the sweetness, the joy, the sacred time that is Shabbat. And release. Now we turn.
That always feels so good.
Those 3 big breaths to separate us from the rest of the week. And now we sing great big songs.
Yes.
I don't know, I tried. It wasn't a great segue, but I tried.
It's all right.
So, Mayafe Hayom, how beautiful is the Sabbath day, on page 10.
Shabbat Shalom, Mayafe Hayom. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Mayafe Hayom. Shabbat Shalom, Mayafe Hayom. Shabbat Shalom.
We continue with kindling our Shabbat lights and offering Kiddush. If you would like, you can come forward to kindle Shabbat lights. Here on the side, we have a number of sets of Shabbat candles as we turn to page 3. As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we by our lives give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we in our own day be among those who kindle light.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
The heaven and earth were finished in all their array. On the 7th day, God finished the work that God had been doing, and God stopped on the 7th day from all the work that God had done. And God blessed the 7th day and declared it holy, because on that day God ceased from all the work of creation that God had done.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Borei peri hagafen, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu, zikaron lema'aseh v'reshit, ki hu yom techila למקראי קודש, זכר לציון מצרים, כי באנו בחרת, ואותנו קידשת, מכל העמים, ושבת קודשך, ואהבה וברצון, הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני, מקדש השבת. Amen. L'chaim.
Our opening reading is not found in your book. It's by an author named Noah Ben Shea. Our life is like a tapestry, and by the tapestry's nature, it demands we work on it from the back, in a blind. The Sabbath is a reminder that one day in 7, or 1 hour in 7, or 1 minute in 7, we should step back and turn our tapestry over so we can see the larger pattern of who we are, the implications of our efforts, and the world wherein we work. We turn to page 28 for the Baruch Hu, our call to worship. Please rise in body or in spirit.
Baruch hu et Adonai HaMevorach, Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed.
Page 31. This is an hour of change. Within it, we stand uncertain on the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? This is the hour of change, and within it, we stand quietly on the border of light. What lies before us? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? Baruch atah Adonai Hama'ariv Aravim. The Shema on page 34, 35.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'odecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavcha hayom al levavecha Veshinantam levanecha, vedibarta bam, beshivdecha bevetecha, uvlechtecha vaderech, uvshochbecha uvkumecha, ukshartam leot al yadecha, vehayu letotafot beinenecha, Uchtatam amezuzot beitecha uvisharecha למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Another reading not found in your book to introduce Mi Chamocha. All this is true and trustworthy, our experience of this world. Our lives are difficult. We are pursued by our ideals and our imperfections. We must choose between life and death, between slavery and freedom. We sway between listening for hope and succumbing to anguish and despair, the death of our spirit. But we are not abandoned nor alone. We search the distant past and our own days and find the courage to enter our struggles, to wrestle with the pharaohs in our hearts and those in the world around us, and slowly to free ourselves from bondage. We are companions who help each other rise from the dust. From age to age, the tale has been told, how Moses and Miriam led us forth from Egypt. The deed of liberation is answered with joyous song, a moment of celebration that lingers and uplifts us in the midst of our days. And we sing, Mi Chamocha, page 40.
Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai la lai lai yai lai 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 lai. Yai la lai lai yai lai 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 lai. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha neta b'kodesh, nora tehilot dosefele, nora tehilot dosefele. Malechutecha ra'u vanecha, bokei hayam lifnei Moshe, ze'eli anu ve'amru, Zeheli anu ve'ameru, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai la lai lai yai lai 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 lai. Yai la lai lai yai lai 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 lai.
Hashkivenu on page 42, our evening lullaby, our request for God to provide for each of us a sukkot shalom, a shelter of peace. We sing together.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, l'shalom, lehamidenu shomrenu l'chaim. Ufros aleinu sukkot shlomecha, ufros aleinu sukkot shlomecha.
song, Vishamru, is actually a direct quote from Torah. It's not a prayer, it's a piece of text reminding us of our obligation to keep Shabbat. Just as God rested, so too do we rest. And that is part of our covenant, our symbol between us and God. We sing together.
Shabbat, et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat, לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש.
Page 46 for the tefillah. The word tefillah means prayer. We are already praying, but we are now kind of redoubling our efforts. We're refocusing if we've wandered away in our brain or in our heart for the center of our service. First, this maybe mantra, I'm not sure what to call it. And then we'll turn to page 48 for the Avot V'Imahot, page 50 for the Givurot, and page 52 for the Kiddushah, the last prayer that we will chant while standing. I was talking too fast. Please rise in body or in spirit.
Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi agi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei hakol, v'zocher chasdei avot ve'imahot, u'mevi ge'ula livnei v'neihem, lema'an shemo be'ahava. Melech chozer u'moshia u'magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'ezrat Sarah. Atah gibor le'olam Adonai, mechaye hakol atah, Rav lehoshia. Mechalkel chayim bechesed, mechaye hakol berachamim rabim, somech noflim ve'rofeh cholim, umatir asurim, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר, מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומדומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיה הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
Please be seated. In every service, we take time to give thanks. And so we read on page 55, may these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai Mikadesh HaShabbat. We continue on page 60 with singing Shalom Rav.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki ata hu melech hadod lechol hashalom. Lechol ha-shalom, shalom rav al Yisrael amcha, tasim leolam. Shalom rav al Yisrael amcha, tasim leolam. Betov be'einecha levarech et amcha Yisrael bechol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom rav al Yisrael amcha, tasim leolam. Shalom rav al Yisrael amcha, tasim leolam. Tasim leolam. Tasim leolam.
We take time every Shabbat to think about those who are struggling, whether it be a struggle of physical illness, whether they're struggling with mental illness, just struggles in life. And so if you have someone you are thinking about, I hope that you will share the name out loud as my hand passes over those of us here in the sanctuary. If you are at home, I hope you'll lift up the names of loved ones in the chat on this Shabbat. We join the names that have been shared aloud with the names that still live in our heart as we join together with the words of our healing song. If you need the words, they're found in the middle of page 253.
And let us say Amen. Yisheberach imotenu, makor habracha le'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
We take a moment for silent prayer and reflection.
Oseh shalom bimrama, uyaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru, imru, amen. Oseh shalom bimrama, Shalom Aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru, imru, amen. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom Aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom Aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom Aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom Aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom Aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael.
Have you ever been to one of those arcade places like a Dave & Buster's, or where there's all the video games and things to do? I haven't been to one in a really long time, but there was a time when those were really, really popular, and I am not a video game person. And so I would play the games like skee ball, and you remember the game Whack-A-Mole? Do you know that game? Right? Yes, Dorothea's got it, where you stand there and you have to watch the, whatever they're called, the moles, come up and you have to hit them. That's my favorite. Skee ball is like, they're even. I love skee ball. And then I love Whack-A-Mole. So, I get really intense, right? You stand there and you hold the thing and you have to watch and then you hit them, and you have to see if you can do it, and they come faster and faster and faster, and then you get more and more kind of, oh my goodness, they're coming so fast. And I was only okay at it. And I realized that there's this feeling of I can hit everything and they'll all stay down, and maybe something won't come at us. And there's an analogy in some ways of the way the world feels right now. The world feels a little bit like a game of whack-a-mole. That there's so much, not only things happening in the world with climate change and storms and political upheavals and we just don't know what's going to happen next. Carl Jaspers writes, in the age of change, which we see so many upheavals, in extreme instances, they appear to go to the root of humanity itself. We don't know where things are headed, and we're in this time of radical uncertainty, where every day could, at some level, appear like whack-a-mole. And it might be, for me, why this year, reading the book of the end of Exodus and the book of Leviticus hasn't felt as awful, I'll clarify that in a moment, as it usually does. Leviticus is not a book that most people look forward to. Let's be honest, right? If you know anything about Leviticus, it's the book of priestly laws. We learn about making sacrifices. We learn about what's going on when very detailed blood and when to scatter the blood, and it's just not what we really do today. So what is it about the book of Leviticus that doesn't seem to bother me so much? There are verses, there are passages that speak to what's happening with the Israelites that feels like the same thing that's happening to us, living in an age of radical uncertainty. They were looking for what we might be looking for, some stability, some mooring that we don't have. In this week's Torah portion, it's called Achrei Kedoshim. Sometimes Kedoshim is also known as the Holiness Code. And we learn, Kedoshim tihiyu ki kadosh ani Adonai Elohechem. You shall be holy, for I, Adonai, am holy. And that's really all it says. There's not so much of a definition of what it means to be holy. The classical commentators say, well, all around this verse are rules about sexuality, right? You shall not be homosexual, or rules about keeping kosher. So holiness is about sexuality and about food. Other commentators say, no, it can't be that close. It's all about our morality. It's all about all the values of Judaism. And this debate has been going on and on and on. What does it mean, Kedoshim tihiyu? What does it mean, you shall be holy? So first, before I share some more, what do you think? Kedoshim tihiyu. What do you think? You shall be holy. Oh, I know this group. Somebody can give me one answer. Your best self. Beautiful. What? A good person. Beautiful. As godlike as possible. I love that. Thank you, Muriel. Anyone else? Well, unlike the commentators who took, the classical commentators, many of them who took their cues from the text around them, we can actually take some of our cues from the actual Hebrew words themselves. The word kiddoshim is plural. It's not, Deb is holy by herself and Dorothea is holy by herself. Kiddoshim, holiness does not happen one person and one person and one person. Kiddoshim tihiyu. Holiness is a group experience. Holiness happens in a community. And this verse was said not to just the Israelite, it says Kol Adat B'nai Yisrael, to the entire community of Israel. All the rest of the verses in this portion just said to Israel. This says to the entire community of the children of Israel. So this is for all of us. Holiness happens as a communal experience. We can't be holy unless we are taking care of the larger community. Next, tihiyu, you shall be. It's a future verb. Holiness is not passive. It's not achieved and then done. It just keeps learning and striving and going. Holiness is an ongoing, learned process. The Khatam Sofer taught being holy in the community, in public, out in society, in the open, means that you will never be ashamed of who you are, of who your character, and of who you are becoming. And Martin Buber taught that holiness is radiating a positive influence on every aspect of your life. The ongoing process of becoming in a community means that we might not know every day what holiness means. We know that we're continuing to define it. Harvey Fields, a pretty contemporary commentator, he was a Reform educator, and he wrote a series of books that became kind of the classic educator and rabbi book that we use to help B'nai Mitzvah students write their Bar and Bat Mitzvah essays. He taught, for the rabbis of the Talmud, to be holy means that every Jew must ask this pivotal question: what are the consequences of my decisions, my choices, my words, and my promises? Will they improve the world in which I live? Holiness is an ongoing process of us doing and being with ourselves so that we can improve our community for others. This is an extraordinary concept. It's not looking to the close text, it's looking to what can be. When we think about holiness and what it can be, kadosh, kiddoshim, and we think about where we can radiate a positive influence, one of the things I think about is how can we be the best at who we are and what we are? Will they reflect credit upon us and the larger Jewish people? And so this week, we had an opportunity to do that, to celebrate the Jewish people, to celebrate someone growing into who they wanted to be for themselves. And that was to celebrate a conversion. So Michael Zimmerman this week became what he has hoped to become, which is to become Jewish. So Michael, will you come up here? And has asked to receive a blessing on the bima to celebrate his conversion. So first, Michael, I'm gonna Michael, in this holy place, we welcome you into Jewish life, into Kiddoshim Tihiyu. Knowing well our difficult Jewish history, You have chosen to join yourself to our people's faith. We open our hearts to you. May you be strengthened in your resolve. May we support you to live faithfully with the decision you are making and to the promises you make to your chosen faith. May you find satisfaction and joy in fulfillment of sacred deeds. And may you be granted many years of strength and happiness in our congregation. And we rejoice as we welcome you, Michael, with the Hebrew name Binyamin, into our midst, who have so willingly and devotedly joined our community. So I'll invite you to remain seated for one moment. We're going to go to the Ark. And I'm going to ask you to recite the Shema. It's right there.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
I'm going to have you do it again so they can hear you in Zoom.
Okay. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Beautiful. We as a community, I'm not doing well with the microphone. We as a community are celebrating with you, and we will recite the Shehechianu together as you hold the Torah for the first time. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, for giving us life, for sustaining us, and for enabling us to reach this joyous season in Michael's life as he celebrates Judaism in his life and in the life of this congregation. And let us say together, Amen. If you come up here with me. I'll take that from you. And I think we should say Mazel Tov. Mazel Tov. And you can go back to your seat. Deb has a song, right?
I do have a song. So when Rabbi shared with me that we were going to celebrate this tonight, this is the song that came to me. This is from Genesis. It's called Lechi Lach. Come with me to a land that I'll show you. So.
That I will show you. Lech lecha to a place you do not know. Lechi loch, on your journey I will bless you, and you shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. Lechi lach. Lechi lach, and I shall make your name great. Lech lecha, and all shall praise your name. Lechi lach, to the place that I will show you. Lesimchat chayim, lesimchat chayim, lesimchat chayim, lechi lach. You shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. Lechi
These were words spoken by God to Abraham, right?
Correct.
Yes.
As we move out of Shabbat, I hope that we'll continue to think about what it means to be a blessing and what it means to be holy, Kiddushim Tihiyu. We continue now with Aleinu on page 283, and we will this time please rise in body or in spirit. Let us adore the ever-living God and render praise unto you, who spreads out the heavens and established the earth, whose glory is revealed in the heavens above, and whose greatness is manifest throughout the world. You are our God, there is none else.
V'anachnu korim u'mishtachavim u'modim lifnei melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu v'ne'emar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz Bayom hahu, yeh Adonai echad, u'shemo echad.
Please be seated. We turn now to our time of remembering. There are stars up above, so far away we only see their light, long, long after the star itself is gone. And so it is with people that we loved. Their memories keep shining ever brightly, though their time with us is done. But the stars that light up the darkest night, these are the lights that guide us. As we live our days, these are the ways we remember. On this Shabbat, we remember Robert Bruder, Israel W. Cohn, Shirley Dackner, Clarence Dettelbach, Viola S. Deutsch, Bonnie Dick, David Glassman, Leslie A. Groden, Mildred Cohn Gross, Paul Gusky, Philip D. Harris, Jesse F. Hayes, Sidney Herbst, Norman Hyams, Donna J. Katz, Edward Dale Katz, Nat L. Lefton, Josephine Markowitz, Florence F. Miller, Lenore November, Bailey I. Ozer, Daniel D. Passoff, Lillian Queen, David Lester Reichel, Gussie S. Rose, Bertha H. Skall, Annie Sternberger, Nina Lehman Stone, Adeline Loeb Strauss, Meyer Warsowski, Emil Weil, Joseph S. Weider, Tina Hupschman Weider. Our griefs and sympathies are mingled as we turn to page 294 for the words of the mourner's Kaddish. Please rise in body or spirit. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah, v'yalma divra hirote v'yamlich malchute, v'chayechon v'yomechon, uv'chaye techol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uv'izman kari v'imru, amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevorach leolam almei almaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitaldar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudusha barechu, le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechamata, ta'amiran v'ama v'imru, amen. Yehi shlama Rabbah min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, Uya'aseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and give comfort to all who are bereaved. Let us say together, Amen. Please be seated. Invite Susan Hirsch to come forward to offer some words of announcement and greeting. Oh. You had two microphones to choose from.
Thank you. Shabbat Shalom. Thank you, Rabbi Van. Whoops. Thank you, Rabbi Van and Deb Rogers, for leading this meaningful service. And thank you to Barbara Andelman and Richard Namath for donating tonight's beautiful beam of flowers in memory of Barbara's sister, Leslie Groden. Thank you to Jill and Jack Steinbeck for sponsoring tonight's Oneg in memory of Jill's mother, Lenore November. And as always, thank you to our dedicated STKA staff and leadership. Mitzvah Day is Sunday, May 7th from 11 to 1. If you have not registered to volunteer, you can use the link in the Temple Time or call Rochelle in the office. We hope that you will all join us for this meaningful volunteering opportunities. Please join us for confirmation next Friday, May 5th, during the Shabbat service. It's a time for the whole community to be proud. Rise and Shine for kids 0 through 5 years old and their families is Saturday, May 6th from 10:30 to 11:30 a.m. at the Orange Library. Rabbis Van and Nair, along with Maggie Wise, share stories, music, and activities. Please call or email Rochelle to register. Finally, celebrate Israel's birthday with STKA members, see Shavel, the band together. Shavel is a band of 8 musicians with disabilities who performed on season 6 of The Rising Star in Israel and became superstars. They united Israel and the world in support of inclusion. And they are performing Tuesday, May 9th at 7:30 p.m. at Mimi Ohio Theater. Tickets are available through the Temple Times, and the cost is $12 per ticket. Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you so much. And let us sing Adon Olam on page 321.
And you can dance if you want, because I'm going to be moving.
Adon Olam,
Adon Olam,
Asher Malach, Beterem Kol, Yetzir Nivra, Le'et Nasa, Bechepto Kol, Azai Melech Shemo Nikra, Adon Olam, Ve'acharei Kitlot HaKol, Levado Yimloch Nora, Adon Olam, Behu Haya, Behu Behu yeh betifara Adon Olam, Adon Olam, Asher Malach, Beterem Kol, Yetzir Nivra, Le'et Nasa, Bechepto Kol, Azai Melech Shemo Nikra, Adon Olam, Behu Echad, Ve'ein Sheni, Lahamshilo lahachbira Adon Olam, Beli Reshit, Beli Tachlit, Belo Haoz veHamisra, Adon Olam, Adon Olam, Asher Malach, Beterem Kol, Yetzir Nivra, Le'et Nasa, Bechepto Kol, Azai Melech Shemo Nikra, Adon Olam, Behu Eli, Vechai Goali, Betzor Chevli Be'etzara Adon Olam, Behu manos li menat kosi beyom mekra Adon olam Adon olam Adon olam Asher malach Beterem kol Yetzir nivra Le'et nasa Bechepzo kol Azai melech shemo nikra Adon olam Beyado Afkid ruchi Be'et dishan ve'ayira Adon olam Ve'im ruchi Geviyati Adonai li velo ira Adon olam Adon olam Asher malach Beterem kol Yetzir nivra Le'et nasa Bechefzo kol Azai melech shemo nikra Adon olam.
We rise now in body or spirit for our benediction, immediately followed by Motzi.
Yevarechecha Adonai ve'yishmerecha.
May God bless you and keep you.
Yair Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka.
May the light of God's presence shine upon you and be gracious to you.
Yis Adonai panav elecha ve'yasem lecha shalom ve'yasem lecha shalom.
May God lift up each one of us, and may God bring us shalom, peace, and wholeness. Amen.
Amen. I saw raisins in the one out there too. So. Oh.
Hamotzi lechem min haaretz. We give thanks to God for bread. Our voices rise in song together as our prayer is humbly said. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
Shabbat shalom, b'tei avon.
Shabbat shalom.